Hello, welcome to the S.H Monsterarts SpaceGodzilla review. This is Dark Wesker 666 coming at you from Resident Helsing Studios. So, this came in the mail a few weeks ago, so I figured I'd share it with the world. This is what we call a box, people. Don't dwell on it too long. This face may give you nightmares, so don't show it on camera. And the back is awesome. We all know the back is awesome. But seriously, guys, it's a box. Don't stare at it for too long. It may cause brain damage. Well, here he is. Nah, I'm just screwing around with you guys. That's just vinyl. Here is the S.H Monsterarts SpaceGodzilla. And boy, is this thing awesome. I mean, seriously, guys, look at him. Anyway, for those people who don't know SpaceGodzilla, or SpaceGodzilla in depth, I'm going to go over this figure's history. This figure's, well, SpaceGodzilla's birth is kind of weird when you think about it. It was created in one of two ways. The first option is that during Godzilla's clash with Biollante drifted up into space, escaped Earth's orbit, and, well, that's just one of the options. The second one is a bit of Godzilla's cells were taken up by Mothra, and either way, cells from either Biollante or from Godzilla taken up by Mothra fell into a black hole, came out a white hole, mutated, got hit by, like, radiation from stars. That's the actual explanation. I'm not kidding. Got hit by the radiation, crystallized, and boom, SpaceGodzilla was born. That is immensely weird. Two elaborate explanations, and oh, that is so weird. Oh my god. Anyway, so what happens is SpaceGodzilla is born. He gets close to Earth, you know, coming down, doing his SpaceGodzilla-ness thing. And G-Force sends up Mogera, or Mogra, depends on how you're inclined. So, Mogera gets sent up. SpaceGodzilla beats the living crap out of him, rips off one of his legs, and continues towards Earth. I'm really starting to wonder what happened to those three guys inside Mogra. It's sad if you think about it. But SpaceGodzilla comes down to Earth, lands on Birth Island, and, well, he finds Godzilla as well as his kid. And basically, what he does is he becomes more of a creep than Gabara. He kidnaps baby Godzilla by throwing him to one of the crystal prisons that he sent in front of him and beat the crap out of Godzilla. He flew off. Godzilla went into the ocean and kind of started to follow SpaceGodzilla. I don't even know why he didn't even try getting his kid out of those crystals. It's kind of weird. But I don't care. Anyway, so SpaceGodzilla lands in one of these cities and creates a crystal fortress next to a gigantic tower. SpaceGodzilla starts collecting energy and stuff, putting in the tower, his crystal spikes, everything. Then eventually a rebuilt, or maybe remodeled Mogra was sent in, got the crap beaten out of him. Funny if you think about it. And then Godzilla comes along. Both Mogra and Godzilla kind of team up. I say kind of because Mogra still gets a few hits on Godzilla. Anyway, they kind of team up, start really pissing off SpaceGodzilla by blowing off his shoulder crystals, blowing up the tower, blowing up his fortress, And eventually Godzilla uses the red spiral ray to kill SpaceGodzilla. And SpaceGodzilla dies much the same way Biollante did, by sort of disassembling and floating up into space. Kinda weird. Anyway, the Kaiju's abilities are kind of cool. I told you how you can create the Crystal Fortress. He has his red Corona Beam breath. He can launch his crystals, shoot electricity from it. He can fly. He can hover. And he can use telekinesis. Not to mention, interesting enough, SpaceGodzilla has an intelligence level of a human or higher. Really cool. Anyway, so now that we got all the history out of the way, even though that was only one movie, let's get on to the figure itself. You will notice that this figure is something of a navy blue color. And I really, really like that. It's a killer idea. Navy blue color for SpaceGodzilla. Even though he kind of was like that in the movie, so, you know. And you also have that purple blood red chest going down. And, truth be told, it actually continues down the tail, which is really cool. Gets a 1-up from me. You have this translucent yellow head crest, which starts off darker and gets lighter. It's really cool. It gives him that, like, kind of like, I'm the king, this is my crown. He has all these serrated, individually painted teeth with that red tongue. He has these 4 tusks on the side of his face, which is really cool. Like, painted really well. And he has that long serpentine tongue back there, which is kind of frightening. And, of course, the nails are interesting as well. They start off dark at the very back and turn white, which gives it that more natural look rather than just be painted white. Same thing with the nails on the toes. But a little QC hiccup here is these 2 toes on the foot, the very side, they're like more purple than white, but yeah, I really don't care. Quality control, we don't know what that is. A little shout out to Ultraman Kronos there. Anyway, like, what's the only thing more interesting than the nails on this figure is obviously the spines. These are really cool. They start off with that translucent, and it's red in there, so kind of like you can kind of see into his body a little bit there. And it's painted white, and you got this skin like kind of like attached to it, which, you know, kind of gives it that look that this thing came right out of his body and the skin's still kind of like attached to it. And no wonder he's pissed off all the time. I mean, how would you feel if you had like 2 gigantic things break out of your body? I'd be a bit pissed off too. Anyway, you also have one of the more impressive parts of SpaceGodzilla. Since I'm a fan of the Godzilla dorsal spines, I'm also naturally a fan of the crystalline SpaceGodzilla dorsal spines. Now, also, it starts off it's like completely translucent. Well, not completely, you can't see through it, but if you were to hold it up to like a light source and waggle your finger behind one of the spines, you'll see it moving, which is really cool. Anyway, it starts off like this black purple down at the back and goes up white, which is insanely awesome. And it just continues down this foot-long tail, which ends in that really unfortunate spike. So, try not to piss him off. He'll take your eye out. No, I'm not joking. He will take your eye out. Keep this away from kids. It's 15 up for a reason. But if you want to be irresponsible and give it to your kid, go ahead, be my guest. You don't need another one, right? Right. Anyway, now that I got all this insane detail out of the way, like the skin. That's one thing I forgot to mention. The skin texture. It's awesome. Anyway, one thing that's out of the way. So let's go for the articulation. Now, this thing has articulation up the ass, man. That's what S.H Monsterarts, that's what I like about him. Now, this is a dream come true. The jaw opens and closes. To be honest with you, I'm a guy who's used to the vinyls, so to be able to choose when your monster roars is a dream come true for me. Anyway, as the jaw moves, the head moves as well. And you also got that neck movement, which gives him a bigger range. Now, you can have him look up, you can have him look down. Mind you, don't push down too much, or else the head will pop off. Everything here is on a ball joint. So, now that we got that out of the way, let's go towards the arms, shall we? The arm can move back, it can move in, it can move out, and it can move forward, which is all really cool. Now, what I also really love about this series is it has a double jointed elbow, which is really cool. It gives it that much more smooth, natural feel to it. And it also has a bicep joint, as well as a wrist joint, which is really cool. So, we also have a ball jointed waist, so you can have them do like Thriller or something if you want. But anyway, most of the movement is hindered due to the dorsal spines. Dorsal spines. You drop bail, fat ass. Yay! Shut up! Anyway. Obviously the legs move, which is, you know, good. Always good. And you have that double jointed knee, which is really cool. So you can do the one thing vinyls can't do. You can make them walk. And the feet swivel, interestingly enough. Push them back a little bit, push them forward. You know, anything to adjust to the terrain. Now, also, what is a complete dream come true, a fully articulate tail. You can have it go up, you can have it go down, side, side, and it has a wider range of motion than the S.H Monsterarts SpaceGodzilla, I'm told. I unfortunately don't have them yet, but then again, Mechagodzilla 2 is next on my list, so I wouldn't know. So, now that we know how completely awesome this creature is, let's break out the vinyl again. I mean, to all you fanboys who are completely trashing the vinyls, saying S.H Monsterarts is the next best thing, it's going to completely replace the vinyls, I'm going to tell you this right now, you're going to be wrong here. The S.H Monsterarts SpaceGodzilla is really incredible, but the vinyls are meant to be played with. This is 15 and up for a reason. This is, what, 3, 4 and up? Just make sure your kid doesn't choke on the tail. But if he's stupid enough to shove that down his throat, yeah, never mind. Anyway, you're not going to want to give this to your kid. Your kid's probably going to kill himself with this. Especially if you have it hanging from the ceiling, making him look like he's flying. It's probably going to fall down, and that's the end of that. Johnny, no. Anyway, if you're going to want to introduce him to the Godzilla series, give him the vinyls. Not to mention the vinyls are cool to look at in their own right. If I'm going to want to pose something, it's going to be this. If we're going to want to do a stop motion movie, it's going to be this. If I'm going to do anything under the sun, it's going to be this. If I want just something to bash around and play with, it's going to be this. Not to mention they still do look alright in their own right. They're not as completely detailed as this, but don't be hating on this. Hate is gonna hate. So, now that we also got that out of the way, I'm also gonna tell you that, all in all, S.H Monsterarts is really cool, but it's not completely revolutionary. I mean, I'm sorry, what is that Soul of Chogokin, Black Mechagodzilla? What was that? You have articulation up the ass, too? And you're made out of die-cast? Yeah, I heard that. Anyway, I'm not saying that this is bad or anything. I love the figure. Mine has, like, virtually no problems with it other than those two toes I told you about. And I've heard SpaceGodzilla's come broken in the box. So, I don't know, I either got really lucky or those guys are really unlucky. But time will only tell, and I'll only find out when I get my S.H Monsterarts Mechagodzilla. Or Burning Godzilla when he comes out, or I don't know. I'm probably not going to get King Ghidorah, he's kind of expensive. And I can't find Garuda, which really sucks. So if anybody knows any good links to any cheap Garudas, let me know. I will buy one off of you. Can't be over $100 either, unfortunately. I don't have a budget that big. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is SpaceGodzilla is awesome. The vinyls are classic. Respect the vinyls. It's like, respect the pouch. You can't just unrespect it, or else something bad will happen to you. I don't know, maybe SpaceGodzilla will come to life. Like, attack you in your sleep. I don't know. Anyway, with the range of poses that you can get, one is my favorite. Have the tail flipping around. And have them like that. Which is really cool. And, in fact, it looks so good, it looks like it could go with something. Almost like an accessory. Like a spiked stand. And a corona beam breath. Yeah, baby, he comes with a beam breath. Another dream come true. Yeah. Anyway, I do have a problem with the corona beam. People, don't kill me here, but I do have a problem with the corona beam. As one of my DeviantArt friends, Daigen05, said, it looks like he's, like, puking orange juice at you. It should be red. I mean, the gold color is appreciated, but god damn it, it should be red. I mean, they followed every other detail in the movie. They couldn't fix this. Really? 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 Gets me almost as pissed off as when Ultraman Kronos talked about Godzilla's beam breath. Which should have been done basically the way he said it. God damn it. Now I'm pissed. Anyway. Also another problem is these metal screws in the stalk. Why are you doing this, man? Why are you doing this? Don't be doing this. Use plastic caps. You're ruining the illusion. Well, not to mention it's a gigantic fucking stalk, so obviously there's no illusion there to begin with, but you know what? Fuck it. Anyway, also, this base, I think, could be darker. Just, like, it looks a little too light to me. But the highlight is the crystals themselves, so, you know. Might as well just, like, carve out a bunch more and stick them all around them, and then boom, you got a good SpaceGodzilla fortress. Anyway, when it comes to more poses, I'm just going to take this out of the way for a second. What I like to do is, I like having them look up as much as possible. You move the hands out, so he's got like that, whoa dude, look. Move the legs back, push the knees back, and pull the tail down. And you got that awesome flying pose that he used in that newer game. And not to mention, it looks pretty cool. I think it looks slightly better than Godzilla's swimming mode, if you ask me. Or maybe even Mechagodzilla's flying mode. Who knows? All I know is this figure's awesome. Oh, Invisible Ninja. You once said that this is more of a forest green. I still think it's more of a navy blue. And I have the figure. Anyway, this is SpaceGodzilla from SpaceGodzilla vs. Godzilla, or Gojira Tai spacu-gojira. And it's awesome. If you have like $85, which is what I spent after shipping and handling on Amazon, still a pretty good price, but still ridiculously expensive. Ridiculously expensive. Ridiculously expensive. Anyway, if you have like $85, drop it on him. He's awesome. Get him. Get him. I mean, I'm not going to be like a fanboy and just shove it straight down your throat, like saying if you don't get this, you're a loser, you're like last generation. Like, no. But if you do have the money, you'll want him. If you're a SpaceGodzilla fan, if you're not 5 years old, and or if you're just like a fan of the entire Godzilla series and you really, really want him, get him. Get the money? Got your parents' credit card? Get him. So, this figure's awesome. It'll get a 5 out of 5, despite what I said. The accessories don't dampen it too much. Now I got 2 messed up claws, so really it's not that bad to look at. The box is alright. It's a box, people. Get off the box. You can show it for a few seconds, show the art on the back, but that's it, guys. It's a box. Anyway, that's my review on SpaceGodzilla. I hope you all liked. This is Dark Wesker 666 signing out. Johnny.